Alright, hi everybody, how are we all doing? So today's Saturday the 10th of August 2013. Now I'm sure you've probably heard some rumours, as always. When it comes to things like this, there's always rumours. Nothing's ever set in stone, nothing's been confirmed, nothing's been made official. No one's come forward to say, yes, this is what I'm doing. Or yeah, it is true, I am going to be in this film, or kind of thing. So yeah, the latest rumour that's coming out is, who is going to play Lex Luthor in the Man of Steel sequel. I know a lot of people are saying, oh my god, do we really have to have Lex in a Superman movie again? Well, I'm sorry guys, but Lex is pretty much Superman's arch nemesis. Now, in many stories, he's not always at the forefront, he's behind the scenes. He always works behind the scenes because Lex knows what he's doing, okay? He has his pawns, he has his, people doing all the work for him. He makes sure nothing tracks back to him, okay? But he still wants to bring down Superman through any means possible, alright? It's that simple. So whether you guys who are saying, no, we don't want Lex in the Man of Steel sequel, well, tough shit, okay? Tough titty, who cares if you don't want him to be in there? We're not saying that he's going to be the main villain. He's going to be a villain in the movie. Who knows? Maybe even during Justice League, or when the next solo Man of Steel movie comes out after Justice League, again, Lex may well be put in the front and center, against Superman. What we'll probably see in the sequel, I'm hoping, is that by the time the sequel comes along, Metropolis is either being rebuilt or is still being, in the process of being rebuilt. LexCorp is in the process, is dealing with all of that. Lex will be pretty much owner of half of Metropolis, where we probably won't see much of Lex. We might see him at the end, or certain scenes where we'll probably just see a back of his head or something, or he'll be talking to someone. We won't see his face, but we'll hear his voice. All those sort of things. That's what I'm hoping for. And if people are going to say, oh, well, he shouldn't be in a movie, well, why shouldn't he? If you watch Man of Steel, it sets up the scene perfectly for Lex to be in the film. It's that simple. Anyway, let me stop there, because all I want to talk about here is who could be lining up to play said character. Alright, now, before I go any further, you will remember a video that I did way back in 2010, shortly after Man of Steel itself was announced, that I spoke about. Well, I did two videos. I did one video where I said I would love to have Michael Rosenbaum come back as Lex for the Man of Steel movie itself, and then shortly after that I did another video where I said that I would like to have Mark Strong play Lex Luthor. And the reason that idea came about was because I was watching Robin Hood, the one with Russell Crowe, and his character in that was pretty evil, and obviously we remember him as Lord Blackwood in Sherlock Holmes, and then Sinestro in Green Lantern, and then he also played a character in Zero Dark 30 that came out just back end of last year or beginning of this year, whichever way you want to do it. And while he didn't really have such a big part, I mean, it was an important role for him, but he looked quite menacing, okay? He can do bad guy really well. I mean, if you saw Kick-Ass, for example, he played a character that was rich and hated superheroes. That pretty much, in some sense, you look at that side of Kick-Ass and you think, yeah, Mark Strong did pretty well as a villain there. But if he stepped it up as much as possible, which he can do, he really can step up his game, then I can see him being a really, really good Lex Luthor. Okay, so there's him. Okay, now, while it's not been confirmed, touted, or whatever, there was a rumor, an article that came out earlier this week that basically said that Mark Strong has teased that he could be playing Lex, and the quote just reads, "All I can say is, watch this space." Okay, fair enough, Mark. Thank you very much. But who else could possibly be in line to play Lex Luthor? Well, let me give you a rundown of some names that have been popping up left, right, and centre on the internet. These are the popular ones. Okay, I'm not going to give you every single name that everyone's mentioned, but these are the popular ones. Okay, so as I've already mentioned, Mark Strong, Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad, John Hamm from Mad Men, Billy Zane, which many people would love for him to be Lex. Philip Seymour Hoffman, that's an interesting one, and then the final one I've got here is Jason Isaacs. Okay, so let's just put Mark Strong out the picture for now. Okay, look at Bryan Cranston. Now, I haven't watched Breaking Bad. I got no interest in watching Breaking Bad, so that's just me. Okay, but if you do watch that show, you'll know how amazing that guy is. I know a lot of people have spoke highly of him. You know, his character in that show, I've heard so much awesomeness about Brian in particular. So I'm sure there's many Breaking Bad fans who would love to see that being put to the big screen as Lex Luthor. John Hamm, again, his name has been mentioned so much with regarding superhero comic book movies. I mean, Superman in particular, I've always said that I would love to see him play an older version of Superman, aka Kingdom Come version of Superman. Other people like to see him as Hawkman, and you know, again, he could probably play Lex Luthor quite well. And if you do watch Mad Men on a regular basis, you'll probably know him more know his character Don Draper more than I ever will. Anyway, Billy Zane. Now there's a guy who can do bad guy pretty well. Not really heard much about him lately. I mean, so he's sort of behind the scenes somewhere, but the fact that many people will like to see him play someone like Lex Luthor really does speak highly of him. So that's a pretty good choice right there. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Now here's a guy who knows how to play evil. Okay, he's going to be in the next time we'll see him on the big screen will be in the Hunger Games, Catching Fire. Okay, so he's going to be playing his role alongside Donald Sutherland's character. But again, he can do evil pretty well. I mean, I know not many people liked it, but when I watched Mission Impossible 3, oh my god, he was freaky. Pretty much, he was freaky. And I think if you've seen other films, I think I read somewhere on the internet or someone mentioned him about being in the film The Master, and he was pretty awesome in that one as well. So again, can he do something like Lex? Perhaps. And he could look like the Kingdom Come version of Lex, given his build. And the Kingdom Come version of Lex, he's more, built, stocky, and he's quite a large guy as well. So, if you can get, there's no one particular look for Lex. Obviously, the bald head is always synonymous with him, but in terms of body, there's no real. There's not one particular set that you would have with Lex. Whereas with Superman, he's got the muscles, he's got to look tall and this, that and the other. Lex, he's just got to have the intellect. He's all about the mastermind, the brains, and the businessman, and all that sort of stuff. And he is a criminal mastermind in some effect as well. So I still think maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman could do it, okay? Then I look at someone like Jason Isaacs. Now, here's a guy who played Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter series. And he, with long blonde hair, he didn't do too badly, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see how he would look with no hair, and how that could also translate to the big screen as Lex as well. I mean, all I'm saying is that, given that list of actors right there, those set of names, it does really bring some epic chills down to your spine if you're very familiar with any of these particular actors in for whatever genre of movie, TV, or whatever you watch. If you're a big fan of one particular actor, you'll think, yes, I want him to play this character. But if I was to pick just one person out of that list, I would go with Mark Strong. I know he's already played Sinestro, but it's not like as if one actor has never played more than one comic book character. Ryan Reynolds and Chris Evans spring to mind. So it's one of those things where not everyone's going to be welcome to saying they want Mark Strong, or they want Bryan Cranston, or they want John Hamm, or Billy Zane, or Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Jason Isaacs. Everyone's going to be like, well, no, we don't want any of them. We want this person to play. I mean, but it's down to Warner's. As long as they can pick someone really good, who can really play the character so well that when you see him on screen, you'll believe it's actually him. In the same way that Heath Ledger did with the Joker. To the point of where when I first saw The Dark Knight, right, halfway through the movie, I actually forgot that Heath Ledger was playing the Joker. I kid you not. That's the type of acting ability that person has to have, to the point of where you're watching the film and you forget who is actually playing this character, because it's almost like it's so real. You just think, who's playing this guy again? You're fixated on that character and the way that he behaves and everything. You just have no idea. You just lose the fact that someone else is playing that character, and that's what I want. The same effect that I had with Heath Ledger and the Joker is what I want for Lex Luthor as well. You know, because bad guys, they really do, they stand out. Okay, we know that without the villains, you wouldn't have a hero. Without the hero, you wouldn't have a villain. They are basically the yin and yang of each other. Superman's arch nemesis will always be Lex Luthor, whether you like it or not. Batman's arch nemesis will always be the Joker, whether you like it or not. No matter how you look at it, those are the two of the biggest villains of the two of the biggest comic book characters in the world. Okay, those four characters, they go hand in hand. It's that simple. So people complain and saying, oh well, I don't want to watch another Superman movie where Lex Luthor's going to be there. Well, tough. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not. We're not saying he's going to be the main villain. Okay, you could still have Metallo in there at some point. You know, you might even get a hint of Brainiac. Who knows? Yes, there are other characters that you can put in. We're not saying that Lex will be the main villain or the main focus of the sequel. No. What we're saying is, we're going to bring Lex in, but you're not going to see him until this, or this. But you might hear his voice, you might talk to someone might be speaking to him in the background. You know, guys, come on, learn from what we've seen before, that it's not always that the bad guy will reveal himself at the very first instance. And if he does, like the Joker did and Bane did in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, then you'll see what his plans will be afterwards and throughout the entirety of the film. Okay, so if Lex does show up at the beginning of the sequel, who knows what's going to happen after that? Maybe we'll just see him for the beginning, and then after that, you'll hear him just talking or something. Who knows? Okay, so all I'm saying is, given those list of actors that I've got there, it will be interesting to see A, who gets picked, B, how well the received said casting choice is given by the fans, and C, just how well they translate their character on the big screen as well. So, but until we have confirmation, an official word from Warner's, from Zack, let's just stop with the speculation, please, because I'm actually getting sick and tired of doing these kind of videos now, because it's getting to the point of where I don't really want to do these videos. Yes, I know people want to hear my views about it, which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time I'm just like, oh my god, I've had enough, I don't want to hear anymore. No, stop with the speculation. Let's just wait for official word. It's that simple. And if you can't wait, you can make up your own shit as much as you want, but for me, if it's not official, I'm not going to believe the hype just yet. It's that simple. Anyway, let your comments be known below. Thank you, everybody, and I shall speak to you very soon. Bye.